Benin has a surprisingly rich heritage, making tourism a real driving force for economic and social development. There is influential historic heritage, special cultural heritage, and there is unique natural heritage too. The government of Benin wants to reveal this heritage to the rest of the world and to make tourism a major lever for investment and development, focusing on 6 flagship projects. Thirteen kings and a queen succeeded each other in the kingdom of Dan Rome. 3 centuries of the same family dynasty, 3 centuries of religious rule by voodoo and economic power due to the slave trade. Here are located the royal palaces of Abomey, a major historical site in sub-Saharan Africa and a UNESCO World Heritage Site too. A museum dedicated to the history of the kings of Abomey will be built there, as will an outdoor theatre for unmasked voodoo events, marked by songs, dances, theatre and parades. Not far from Abomey, there is another remarkable site, the underground town of Agongwanto. It was discovered in 2008 and it's situated 10 meters underground. Built in the 16th century, these remarkable dwellings served as refuges for warriors to take down the enemies of the kingdom. Alada is the hometown of Toussaint Louverture, a figure of the resistance and abolition of slavery in the former French colony of Saint-Domingue. The Toussaint Louverture Museum will describe the origins of the slaves who were free men and women before they were captured. This museum will ensure continuity in the cultural and tourist offerings between the Royal Historic City of Abomey and the historic slave trade city of Ouidah. In the 18th century, the lake town of Gonvier, the Venice of Africa, became a refuge for populations who were fleeing the slave raids of the Abomey kings. It is a city of resistance. As the largest lake town in Africa, with more than 30,000 inhabitants, Gonvier is a true wonder and an invaluable heritage which has to be preserved, protected and reinvented. Several major projects are in the pipeline to make Gonvier an unmissable jewel in the crown of the country to visit. In particular, they are the sanitation of the lake and waste management, the reconstruction of traditional habitats with environmentally friendly materials, supplying drinking water and electricity for all, a hotel service on stilts, and a museum retracing the foundation of the city, plus a floating, restored market, and finally a landing stage that can receive tourists. Starting out in Abomey, the great slave route came to an end in Ouidah. It's a city that symbolizes the slave trade. Ouidah served as a departure port to the Americas and the West Indies for more than 3 centuries. This project aims to bring to light the millions of affected people by carrying out urban regeneration, restoring the Portuguese fort that will be the city's museum, and replicating the French and English forts from the past. It will house both a creative centre for the diaspora and an identical reproduction of life at the time of the slave trade. A memorial tour will be proposed with respect and reverence. This slave route, identified by its own signs, will lead from the forts to the beach over several stages. First, the slave auction site, the Tree of Forgetting. Then Zomé, the hut of the loss of light and bearings. Then the memorial, the Tree of Return, the lagoon, and finally all of the marina. A floating boardwalk on the lagoon itself will open up to visitors, while a large wooden pontoon advances out onto the water, showing the trail taken by the slaves. A replica of a slave ship will immerse visitors in the tumultuous atmosphere of a crossing at the time of the slave trade. The ship will remind everyone of the West African coast's dark history. The museum anchors the narrative in the past, the present, and the future, focusing on new relationships between Africans and their descendants across the Atlantic, beyond the oceans. It includes gardens, a craft centre and relaxation areas in an outstanding setting with an ocean view. This is the marina. Porto Novo is one of the oldest cities in the Kingdom of Dahomey. It's a city with a strong cultural mix. The first international museum of voodoo arts, cultures and civilizations will celebrate a unique artistic and cultural heritage, which, through slavery, continues today through dances, costumes and theatrical arts. The creation of a theatre to express and showcase masked voodoo will commemorate a number of artistic and cultural events. Benin's many riches can also be found in its 126 kilometers of pristine coastline lined with coconut trees, fine sandy beaches, and incredible lagoon and lake landscapes where mangroves make this place a unique location. The district of Avlekete on the Route des Pêches will accommodate 4 kilometers of submerged embankments. Will enable year-round bathing in comfort and in safety. An 18-hole golf course will be built in the heart of a hotel network of different ratings, including high-end establishments. Swimming pools, a craft village, spas, relaxation spaces, restaurants and sports activities will satisfy the needs of tourists. To preserve this magnificent stretch of coastline, a group of seamlessly integrated, environmentally friendly eco-lodge hotels will be built in the lagoon area. Visitors can enjoy both the beach and canoeing in the mangroves.
Yapa, yapa,